Good afternoon, everybody. Here's a look at your headlines on this Tuesday afternoon. Governor Ron DeSantis signing a bill renaming the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. Plus, Pensacola leaders address flood concerns, and a Saraland man is accused of multiple instances of fraud here along the Gulf Coast. Let's get started with News 5 Now.
Brought to you by Green & Phillips, covering news from your neighborhood and around the world. News 5 Now starts right now.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to News 5 Now. I'm Devin Walsh. Glad to be with you on this Tuesday afternoon. I hope your day is going well so far. We are just getting some breaking news into our newsroom. Something very sad to pass along to you. Mobile Fire Rescue Service driver Marcine Crawford has died after a crash involving motorcycles in Wilmer over the weekend. Mobile Fire Rescue tells us that Crawford was the driver for Engine 7 at Seal Horse Station, who joined the department in July of 2015. We are working to gather more information about this accident, and we will update this story on our website as soon as we learn more. Now, tonight I'll be emceeing the Mobile Fire Rescue Honors Banquet, and they are going to have a moment of silence for Crawford and others who have died within the past year in the Mobile Fire Rescue Department. So that will be happening tonight. But our condolences to Crawford's family and to members of Mobile Fire Rescue. Let's get to our other big stories at this hour. Number 5, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has signed 2 state bills renaming the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, making Florida the first state to recognize the change. State and local governments would need to update official documents, websites, signage, publications, and other materials to reflect this new designation change. The bill will take effect July 1st. Number 4, the Alabama Department of Human Resources has launched a new website and app for those receiving SNAP benefits. The new Connect EBT app and website will allow cardholders to access their account and check their SNAP balance in real time. They can also request replacement EBT cards, change PIN numbers, and view transactions. State officials say DHR is working with the EBT vendor to increase security to prevent scammers from stealing those SNAP funds. Number 3, Pensacola leaders are working to make the city more walkable while addressing flood concerns. Work is underway along West Main Street to install a new storm drain pipe to alleviate flooding. There's also a multi-use path for walkers and cyclists, lighting and landscaping. It runs about 3/4 of a mile from Barrancas Avenue to Club Street. The entire project is set to be completed in 2027. Number 2, schedule changes for garbage and trash collection in Pritchard this week due to Good Friday. There will be no collection of garbage and trash on Friday. That means Thursday routes will be on Wednesday and Friday routes will be on Thursday. Number 1, a Saraland man is accused in both Alabama and Florida of taking money for pool repairs and then not doing the work. Reagan Hudson, who owns Gulf Coast Pool Service, is facing charges of theft in Mobile County and Okaloosa County. In the Mobile area, a woman says she paid Hudson nearly $9,000 for work he never completed. After she made a Facebook post about it, an investigator in Florida reached out and says Hudson is suspected of similar crimes there. Investigators are asking other potential victims to contact police. And that is a look at our big stories at this hour. Well, now it's time for us to hear from you and our question of the day. What exotic animal would you like to have as a pet? What exotic animal would you like to have as a pet? If you were my daughter, you'd say a chimpanzee. She always thinks they're cute. Let's see what you guys have to say. No desire to own an exotic animal, says Anne. Absolutely 1,000% an otter. I would let him live in my guest bathtub, says Summer. Let's see here. One person says exotic animals ought to be left wild and free. Carol says any cat or red panda. Susan, a lynx or a bobcat. Ooh, Marilyn, that's a cool looking black panther. She wants to own a black panther. A skunk? No, Linda. A sugar glider or some other squirrel. A sea turtle. A sloth or a baby elephant? A puma, a snow leopard? Regina, none. I already have a husband, she says. James says lions and tigers are legal pets in Alabama. I don't know about that, James. I'm checking into that. I don't think so. Robin says African gray parrot or blue and gold macaw. So, those are legal in Alabama, but maybe Robin just doesn't have one. Okay, so some great choices there of exotic animals that you guys would like to own. If you want to chime in, you still got time. We're going to leave that question up for a little bit longer. All right, let me click over to our poll of the day. You know what? It is spring break time. Do you like the fact that the Gulf Coast is a spring break destination? Do you like the fact that the Gulf Coast is a spring break destination? Yes, no, or no opinion. Chinyear says, you know what, it is good revenue for this part of the state, but it's an inconvenience when the locals when it comes down to traffic and commuting. Absolutely not. All municipalities need to ban spring break festivities permanently. Jared says we should build a wall and deport Northerners. Leah says, I like it. Allison says, absolutely not. All right, so what do you think? Do you like the fact that the Gulf Coast is a spring break destination? You know, I think it's one of those things, you might get tired of all the tourists. However, they love the Gulf Coast because of the same reasons we do. It's beautiful. We love the water. We love our beaches. So it's really a compliment to us. But I imagine if you live down on our local beaches, that would get difficult with traffic and trying to get into a restaurant with all of the people down there. But certainly it's great for our economy. All right, so go ahead. Question of the day, poll of the day. They're going to be up until 5:30 tonight. That's our next episode of News 5 Now. Thank you so much for joining me for News 5 Now, and I will see you back for WKRG News 5 at 5 o'clock. Have a great afternoon. Enjoy this weather.
Covering news from your neighborhood and around the world. You are watching News 5 Now, brought to you by Green & Phillips.